chance in the end. We are ready to stand, to stand. So if you know you're ready, trend.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We ask you this time to please have your seat. We are about to begin. If you have a seat, we are asking you to have it now, please. Thank you.
Viking Voyager. Spaniard! Warp speed. Into the future. Boldly going where no man has gone before. Everybody take a jump to the future. To the future. To the future. Everybody take a jump to the future. To the future. To the future. Everybody take a jump to the future. To the future. To the future. Everybody take a jump to the future.
Good evening once again. We invite you to stand at this time for the national anthem of Trinidad and Tobago. Almighty God, we want to thank you for this opportunity that as a people we can come together. We are truly grateful and thankful for bringing us here safely. And we pray, God, that you will be with us, that we will have a wonderful meeting, and that you will be pleased. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Please be seated. Come on, man. We can do better than that. Good evening, PNM family. Yes, this feels like a national election. Yeah? This feels like a national election. My name is Lawrence Islam, and I am co-chair this evening for this launch. I want to recognize all ministers, senators, MPs, local government representatives, party executives, and supporters of leaders in service of the People's National Movement. Give yourselves a round of applause. We are coming out of a meeting last evening that was on fire. Yeah? And we are now in a space where members of this great party have decided to put themselves up for service. And after 60 plus years of existence, the PNM knows about service. I am not going to be doing all of the talking this evening. I have a beautiful lady. So I come all the way from Tobago. And a beautiful lady all the way from South has joined me on the platform.
Thank you, Masters of Ceremony, Senator Hislop. Ministers, senators, members of parliament, local government representatives, party executives, and supporters of leaders in service of this great party, the People's National Movement. A warm and welcome good night to you. Permit me to acknowledge in our midst tonight one of the longest serving local government practitioners who would have recently received an award, the Hummingbird Gold Medal, former chairman of the Sandy Grande Regional Corporation, and still is a councillor and a representative for his people in that district, Councillor Terry Rundle. I bring greetings to you on behalf of the wonderful people of the great borough of Point Fortin, the preferred place to live, work, invest, and recreate. How can I have to say that? I got the opportunity. Don't worry, my members of council are right there. Yeah, they're outside. We are here tonight, and I am here tonight representing my people to bring support on behalf of my people to this great bunch of representatives here, representing the leaders of service or leaders in service of this great party, the People's National Movement. I am indeed honored to stand next to my colleague, Senator Hislop, who I will give extensive support tonight as we chair this program.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, we want to move right along with the program, and we want to bring to the stage at this time a man from Port of Spain, as he just said, man from Port of Spain, to bring remarks. A young man, not only young in age, but young in name. I've just been told to change the program on the fly. I'm taking the right cue, right? So not only young in name, not only young in age, but young in name. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. The Minister of Energy and Energy Affairs and the Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister, the MP for Port of Spain, North St. Anne's West, the Honorable Stuart Young. Welcome. Welcome to Port of Spain North, St. Anne's West. To all of my cabinet colleagues, to all of the executive members of the People's National Movement, to all of the PNM family who have come here to Port of Spain North this evening from all over the country of Trinidad and Tobago. Welcome. Tonight is the start. Tonight is the beginning. Tonight is the launch of a movement in our movement. Tonight, I am proud and privileged to start the batting lineup, although I did not expect to start the batting lineup. And I think that is a good example
of how it has been. As you know, and if you don't know, I'm telling you now, I am offering myself up for the chairmanship of the People's National Movement. And I am privileged to be amongst a group of citizens of Trinidad and Tobago who are also offering themselves up to run and to lead the People's National Movement as we go forward. And we've coined ourselves under an appropriate name that you see us launching here tonight, Leaders in Service. I don't want to spend too much time on this occasion introducing myself. I would hope by now that most of you, if not all of you, it should be all in the PNM, know what I stand for. I was reflecting on my way here today that it was in 2014, March 2014, that our current political leader and our next political leader, our continuing political leader, and the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, who is going to be our continued political leader. Agreed? Call on me and ask me whether I would serve formally in the People's National Movement. And it was in March 2014 I entered the Parliament as a temporary opposition senator. And I was reflecting that I want to tell you, the members of the PNM, because you see, this is our election. This is our internal election. And you, every single member of the PNM is being called upon to make important decisions and take it seriously. And what I'd ask you all to start by looking at, out of all those who are offering themselves up now, 7 years into a term of our government, to come forward and serve, is who was there with us when we were in opposition. Who was there with the People's National Movement when we went through some of the dark days in 2010. And whilst I formally came on board in 2014, the records that cannot be erased will reflect that during that period of 2010 to 2015, as an attorney at law, most of the cases that were brought against our PNM leadership and those who served the PNM previously, I represented the PNM and the people in it. I can stand here today and tell the whole PNM membership and others that I represented our two leaders between 2010 and 2015 before the Parliament Privileges Committee. Former Prime Minister Patrick Manning and our current Prime Minister Keith Rowley. I represented all of the boards of persons who served under the PNM when they came under attack by those scoundrels led by Anand Ram Logan. I think by now you've realized over the last 7-8 years in Parliament, one thing I take very seriously is going to war for my country and for my party. There is not a single person that could say I've ever held the punches in the Parliament attacking our political opponents. And that is something you have to take note of. So people, you would also know by now I stand for integrity. I will stand for what is right. I will always back for this party. Going back to that period of opposition, you have some people who are now putting themselves forward for leadership positions in the PNM that seem to have just sprung up with the announcement of this internal election. Some of them have spent the last 7 years of a PNM government in power since 2015 doing nothing but criticizing and like little pottongs barking at our ankles as though they are the opposition. And now they want to put themselves forward and call themselves firstly PNM members and then secondly want to be PNM leaders. When you're making your decisions, at the end of this month and on the 4th of December as to who should lead this party, think about what a Nyan Gatsby Dolly, Dr. Gatsby Dolly has done over the last 7 years. Both of us came in 2015 as newly elected MPs, sitting at a cabinet. And what it is we had to do with a very steep learning curve, and what it is that we did to protect this country. All of you would recall that in my former portfolio as Minister of National Security, during a global pandemic, being called upon to protect our country when we closed the borders, and the pressure that we took, and the pressures that we took when things were bad financially and more difficult. And again, what I can say without fear of contradiction, with all of the roles that I was given, ministerial roles I'll start with, I sat up to today negotiating against the largest multinationals, oil and gas companies, to get better for you, the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, and for our P&M family. Under my chairmanship and stewardship, what we're going to bring is the dynamics of some younger persons to work with the older leaders in the chairmanship, in the P&M leadership. And that's where your new chairman, me, your vice chairman, Nyan Gatsby Dolly, together with the unopposed Foster Cummings, our General Secretary Pat Alexis, Inna Kautaram, Terence Dipat, the young Janice Scott, the experienced Jennifer Batiste Primus, Kwesi Robinson, Laurel Lazama Leasing, Faris Al-Rawi, Kazem Hussein, Maxine Richards, and all under the leadership of our political leader, Dr. Keith Rowley. That is the team. That is the team that is going to take us forward as we face the upcoming battles. Because don't fool yourself, the general election isn't far off, and we have to start the preparation now. Under my chairmanship, we are going to engage the young people in the party. We're going to come and bring the young people out, because we recognize, let me tell you all something, we've spoken about it at length, and as the next chairman, I'm giving you all this commitment now. The young people are going to be critical in the P&M. We're going to engage the young people, and we are welcoming you and bringing you on board. The ground, 41 constituencies, the leadership, we are going to get down in the 41 constituencies and meet with the members in the 41 constituencies. It's one of the things I've been speaking to with Foster, Nian, others in cabinet, and now with the new leadership, is we need to get down on the ground and understand from you, our membership in each community, what is going to make the difference. You can expect to see that under these leaders in service. We're going to utilize the experience and the wisdom of those who are in the current positions and learn from them. I also want you to think about this when choosing your leaders come end of month on the 4th of December. I've heard a lot of old talk about you shouldn't have cabinet members on the leadership. We are your government. We are P&M government. We come to General Council to listen to our membership tell us what needs to be done. If you have the powerful members of cabinet sitting in your leadership as the P&M leadership, who do you think is going to make the decisions after we come down on the ground and listen to you all and make the decisions how we're going to engage with the communities? So don't be fooled by those out there who have suddenly surfaced and claim they have a P&M membership card in there, under their shoe somewhere, and then those others who have all of a sudden risen because they like the idea of being a leader in the P&M leadership. One thing I am certain of, having lived, breathed, walked, slept with P&M, for the last 7 years exclusively and totally with you all is the PNM membership is not stupid. You can't fool PNM membership. You can't fool PNM people. So brothers and sisters, welcome to Port of Spain again. It is the perfect place to launch. Welcome to Tobago and welcome to Point Fortin. Everybody is always welcome in Port of Spain. And we're going to start our campaign from tonight. It's going to be a tremendous campaign. But what you need to think about when you're voting is what happens after the campaign. Who is going to show that real leadership mettle? And I think if you go and study Stuart Young, you would have seen, despite the tremendous pressure and attacks from every single direction over the last 7 years, I have done every task asked of me to the best of my ability by the leadership of the PNM and by my political leader. And I've stood strong and I will continue to do so. And tonight, I start by asking for your votes and the vote of every member of the People's National Movement for chairman of the party to form part of the leadership as we go forward, taking our great party into battle. Thank you for your time tonight. I'm going to be engaging with you all more, and even more so after the election as your chairman with the rest of the executive leadership of the People's National Movement. Thank you.
I want to thank Minister Young. After that, there's no need to call out any other candidates. Mr. Young has just launched the campaign. You know, what does it mean to be leaders in service? I looked at the theme, and I must say that you cannot be a leader if you don't know how to serve people. You cannot be a leader if you are not in service. Because who are you leading? Who are you in service to? And the team says that they are not only committed to serving our great party, upholding its principles, values, aims, and objectives, but they have demonstrated that through their proven track record, as Mr. Minister Young so clearly articulated, that they are the best team. That was a pause for an applause. They are the best team. Come on, man. They are the best team with demonstrated, committed service to our people. PNM people, wake up, wake up. Make no mistake, deeply rooted in the progress of our country is our party. You cannot talk about Trinidad and Tobago without talking about the People's National Movement. Salima?
When our party is strong, our country is
Stronger.
That wasn't strong enough. When our party is strong, our country is
Stronger.
You're now singing like leaders in service. And we are well poised to tackle the challenges in front of us, as we are well grasped in the opportunities that are on the horizon. At the core of our party, it is our membership, which are you, who entrust the affairs of our party in the hands of the committed and capable individuals to lead as officers at this party, serving you, the membership, and carrying on the mandates, serving us, this people, the great people of Trinidad and Tobago, and the great people that represents this great party, the People's National Movement.
At this time, we want to bring to the stage Mr. Kareem Brown as he entertains us with a piece on our national instrument.
national instrument. It gives me great pleasure this time to welcome the next speaker, the Honorable Dr. Nayan Gasri-Dolly, Minister of Education and Member of Parliament for St. Anne's.
Are there PNM people in this house? Let me ask it again. Are there PNM people in this house? That sounds like the launch of a successful political team. I find that sort of a nice chant. Let me raise that chant. Dolly for BC. Dolly for BC. One more time, it sounds so good. Dolly for BC. Right. Tonight I feel so honored and privileged to stand here, a young woman, a product of the PNM, cooked in the PNM pressure cooker, and you know we can pressure cook in Trinidad. I feel so proud to be standing here on the shoulders of people like Isabel Tishe, Muriel Donovan McDavidson, Marilyn Gordon, our own matriarch of this time, Joan Newell Williams, Camille Robinson Regis, Jennifer Baptiste Primus. And we talk about leaders in service. Those are leaders we know, leaders of experience. But I'm also standing next to some women leaders coming up, young people like myself, Patricia Alexis, Janice Scott, Maxine Richard, leaders in service. Why are we so happy to offer ourselves? We feel so humbled, so privileged to be able to offer ourselves to this great party, this institution. Why? Because the PNM is an institution that has always stood for excellence. The PNM is an institution that has always taken this country from one stage up to the next stage. To stand here and to say that we are offering ourselves as a team is really a privilege. And I stand here representing the women of the party, the backbone of the party, the women who have always served this people's national movement with excellence. Women are critical to this party, and young women even more so, because an institution must grow. Anything that does not grow is dead. Is the PNM dead? No. I like that answer. It didn't sound strong enough. Is the PNM dead? No. So therefore, young people rising to the top are important because it says something to other young people who would also want to offer themselves. And young women are even more important because it speaks to the backbone, the support, the traditional support of this party. This country is in a time of transition. Do you agree with me? Yes. COVID-19 has made things very, very different in Trinidad and Tobago. And if the country is in transition, that means the people are in transition. And if the people are in transition, it means that the politics must be in transition. If we were to stay the same in situations where the entire world is changing, this party will become irrelevant. And this country cannot afford for this party to become irrelevant, because the only party that can save this country and continues to show up for Trinidad and Tobago is the So therefore this election is extremely important, because this election is showing you our party transitioning, our party growing. Look at who are the people offering ourselves as the team. Notice the mix of the young and the experienced, not the old. The young and the experienced. Why? Because as young people, it is important for us to be taught the culture of the PNM. It is important for us to be steeped in the knowledge of what this great party stands for, because if we, as the young people, don't have a teachable spirit, and we are not willing to work with the experienced ones to learn what we should about this party, then we can take it in the wrong direction. We must transition, yes, but there are principles that must be upheld. There's a way that the PNM cares for its people that must be upheld. And we, the young people, must work with the experienced ones to ensure that when they ride off and we are left in the saddle, we can train up those who are even younger than us in the ways of the PNM. This is a party that says we love you, so we? Only the? Yeah, that is the party we are serving. So it is an honor, a privilege for us, the younger people, to sit on the same team with people like Cousin Hussein, people like Jennifer Coleman. It's a privilege. People like Inda Parasram, Irene, who is a legend in this party, everybody knows that. It is a privilege to be even considered worthy of serving with them. Because we are the ones that have to understand how to lead this party. We are in transition. And the party is going to have to adapt to a new Trinidad and Tobago. And to do that, we the ones who have been trained for some years, mentored, given responsibility, we are the ones that now have to take further responsibility unto ourselves to work hard. You have seen Stuart Young. You have seen his work ethic. You have seen Farisal Rawi. You have seen his work ethic. You have seen me over the years. All of us cooking in the political pressure cooker. How you make gold? By stroking something? Nah. How you make diamonds? By pressure. And we get good pressure. Still, we take. Ferris, we take. We take that pressure, and now we have risen as the diamonds of the PNM created by you, the people. And we offer ourselves for further service, not for position's sake. We have shown you that we work, and we work hard. And I want to hold up before you someone who is young like us, but who has been in the party for so many years. You would think that he is beyond his years. I want to hold up to you someone like Foster Cummings. A walking encyclopedia of the People's National Movement. Here for how much years? 35 years, like he joined when he was a baby. But this is the caliber of people that I am saying to you. We are the team coming together. We have been working together. And we are offering ourselves in service to you. And I don't have to tell you about what anybody else is doing, because I don't have time. We have so much to tell you about what we have been doing here as a team. All of the people who have been working in the background, people like Pat, Terrence, these are people, Tracy, working hard, young people, working for the People's National Movement, working for Trinidad and Tobago, true patriots. When we say leaders in service, we mean that we are true patriots, not just in the word. Patriots is a call to action. We are people who you know. We are people who you can talk to. We are people who have been interacting with you, working for this party. And we are looking forward to continue our service at a different level for the People's National Movement. We are working to take this party through this time of transition and to bring us out as pure gold in the end, in a difficult time. In a time where political energy may be low, because there are people who feel that things aren't as they should be. But when is anything ever perfect? Tell me when it was perfect. When it was perfect? Last year? It was perfect before COVID? It was perfect from 2015? When was it perfect? It was never perfect. So we're not a perfect party, but I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, we are the best option Trinidad and Tobago has ever had. Has ever had. And these young people that have been groomed by this party, these young people are some of the best young people you will ever see offering themselves for public service. So I want to say to all of us here tonight, let us make the right choice. Let us make the choice that will better this party, that will grow this party, that will make us into a stronger institution. Let us look at who is offering themselves as a team, look at their service, and understand that when that name Leaders in Service was chosen, it wasn't just like that. It was because it describes exactly who we are. Persons who have been tested, tried, mix of the experienced and the young, a perfect blend to bring this party into the age of transition. So I want to encourage you in the same way that you are, of course, going to vote for Dolly for VC. You're voting Young for chairman. Well, the general secretary, what can we say? Unopposed. The lady vice chairman, unopposed. Faris Alwari for PRO, unopposed. Assistant General Secretary, Pat Alexis, you're voting for her. Imdal Parasram, Terence Cooper, Janice Scott. Look at all of us there. Hassan Hussain, Maxine Williams, Lauren Azama Lee Singh, Jennifer Batiste Primer, Square. You're voting for all of us. And when you vote for us, it's not a person you're voting for. What you're voting for are what? A team. Not a person, or a team. What you're voting for are team. To take the PNM into the future. You're voting for a team to take the PNM into the future. And if we want to maintain our great refrain, then we have to vote the right team. So because you're here tonight, I know you know who the right team is. And I know then that we will continue to say our great refrain. So say it with me. Great is it? Yes. Great is it? Yes. Great is the PNM, and we shall prevail.
All right, go ahead, Doliver. The women in this party know how to bring it in. The women in this party know when they stay young, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. We're gonna play. I was going to ask the DJ for some PNM music, but we want to run the campaign song. Oh, Mr. DJ, run the campaign song, man.
Leaders in service, building our future together, serving our people for better, building a legacy to transform sweet TNT.
You can get up and shake a leg, you know.
Leadership or leaders in service. Listen, the PNM doesn't produce members, you know. PNM produces leaders. Every PNMite is a leader in his or her right. I want to bring on a man. Yeah. produced in the PNM and who has produced for the PNM from his early days in the Youth League to a top-of-the-line General Secretary. Come on now. And a solid Minister of Youth. I think the only thing I could do better than Minister Cummings is sing. But we are going around that road this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, I invite you to put your hands together. Make some noise.
It was the psalmist David who said, "Behold how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. It is like the precious ointment upon the head that ran down upon the beard, even Aaron's beard, that went down to the skirts of his garment." PNM people tonight, you look so beautiful in your red. We want to thank our incoming chairman of the PNM, MP Stuart Young, for hosting us in Belmont here in Port of Spain tonight. And I want to make it abundantly clear, before I share some words with you, to clarify any misconceptions that might be in the public domain. Because you know, sometimes in the newspapers you read things, some of it is true, and most of it might not be true. On this occasion, in this PNM internal elections, I have one vote to cast. And that vote for chairman of the People's National Movement will be for the Honorable Stuart Young. And not only will I cast that vote, because you have reposed your confidence in me, and no other party member has decided to enter the race for General Secretary, I will have the time to move from constituency to constituency. And to say to all party members who will listen, vote solidly for your next chairman of the PNM, Stuart Young. But we are about team service. We have formed ourselves into a team to take the PNM to new heights, to make sure that the PNM is a well-oiled election machine, ready for all comers, in particular those that we have relegated to the seats of opposition for the next 100 years. So that when you're looking for a vice chairman of the PNM, don't look very far. Somewhere in St. John's East, there's a member of parliament there, performing well as education minister in the government of Trinidad and Tobago. She goes by the name of Nan Gadsby Dolly, and we support her as our vice chairman. And my sister Camille, who could not be with us here tonight, she had a very rough day, and we send our love out to her. Unopposed as Lady Vice Chairman. Now, a good General Secretary deserves a good assistant. Lest there be any doubt in the minds of party members we went into San Fernando East constituency, the constituency of Patrick Augustus Mervyn Manning. And we found the chairman there. Her name is Patricia Alexis. I ask you to support her as our next. It's just warming up, you know. It's just getting nice. And when we're talking about integrity in public affairs and money of the PNM is at the forefront of that. We want someone who we can trust with our dollars. Ladies and gentlemen, we went into San Fernando West and we found Haji Kazim Hussein. Members of the PNM, when you go to vote solidly for Kazim Hussein. A young lady who grew up in the PNM, nurtured by the PNM Youth League, comes from the constituency of Arima. Arima have real nice people. My wife comes from Arima. I ask you to support as our next education officer, Mrs. Laurel Lizama. He served in this position before. You know him very well. He has given the UNC thunder in San Fernando. I know, before I start to call his name, you know who I'm talking about already. He is unopposed, like myself, but let us hear it for our next PRO. Returning to this position, one of the most experienced persons in Trinidad and Tobago in the field of labor relations. She is experienced and she loves the PNM. She has, in fact, the largest party group in Trinidad and Tobago in the PNM, hosting 130 members, party group 10 of Uber South. Jennifer Baptiste Primus. My friends, he has been in the PNM for as long as I have been. Maybe 1 year shy. I think he's here 34 years. He's the election officer of the PNM. He is contesting this position again. Without a doubt, a man from one of the most productive functioning constituencies in Trinidad and Tobago. Uber South, Mr. Imran Parasan. Now, we have to keep our eyes on something. There's a constituency in San Fernando. I'm only now paying attention to it. And that constituency, ladies and gentlemen, we'll have to keep our eyes on them. Because on this team, it now appears that we have quite a bit of persons coming from the constituency of San Fernando West. A gentleman very experienced. As a matter of fact, he served as the campaign manager on the last 2 occasions and made sure the PNM and Faris Alwari was successful in San Fernando West. I ask you to support, as field officer of the PNM, Mr. Terence Bipa. A very quiet, unassuming, but very hard worker. She's dedicated, she is committed, and she has experience in the area of the welfare of the members of the PNM. Can I ask you to put your hands together and support Maxine Richards as our next welfare officer? Youth. Again, coming from Arima. They say the wise men come from the east. It appears the wise women also. I ask you to support Janice Scott as our next. He's up and down the East-West corridor claiming to be the man on the ground. Last week, while I was going up the party bus route, I saw this minivan with his face on it and claiming to be the man on the ground, advertising himself as a grassroots politician connecting with our supporters at all levels. I ask you to support as social media officer, Mr. Kwesi Robinson. And if we didn't have this lady around, I don't know what standard we'd have had for our meeting. She is everywhere. She's like the salt of the earth. We all love her dearly. Could you put your hands together? I don't know how anybody could even think about contesting against Irene Hands. This is the team that is dedicated to working and taking the PNM to higher heights with our political leader, the Honorable Keith Christopher Rowley. I see that there are people who have put themselves forward for the position of political leader. Let me just spend 1 minute telling you something. The old people have a say. When you live in board house, tap your house just call you. We have, as political leader of the PNM, a gentleman who I believe is the longest serving elected member of parliament in the House of Representatives of Trinidad and Tobago. He has taken the PNM from opposition to government in 2010 and led the PNM to victory from 2015 to 2020. And led the PNM to victory at a time when we were experiencing significant issues in relation to the COVID pandemic. He has weathered the storm and led us successfully to 2 election victories at general election level and to several at local government election level. He is experienced, he is committed, he is honest, he is young and only 73 years old. He is a sober leader, he has vision, he loves young people, and he gives young people an opportunity to serve. It goes without saying, therefore, that on behalf of the team leaders in service, we shout out to Trinidad and Tobago and to all the members of the PNM who will be going to the polls in not too distant future, our solid and unwavering support for the next political leader of the People's National Movement, the Honorable Keith Christopher Rowley. And to anybody else who entered that race, we just say rock so. We're not voting for you. I want us to take 1 minute. We lost a member of the PNM flock this week. He was buried today. He served as a senator under the PNM, and his father, as you know, is a stalwart of the PNM. Would you join with me for 1 minute silence for the late Dr. Lester Henry? May his soul Rest in peace. Please have a seat. I want to spend a few minutes, having spent some time giving Trinidad and Tobago who the next executive of the PNM will be, led by party chairman, incoming MP Stuart Young, that we have selected a name for ourselves, Leaders in Service. And there's a reason behind that. And the reason behind that is that we are here to serve you. We are asking you to give us your confidence and your support as a group of young and dynamic persons, as Minister Dolly said, with some experience on the team, to take you, our party members, to take the PNM not only to the conclusion of this term, but on to victory in 2025, on to victory in 2030, on to victory in 2035, on to victory in 2040, on to victory in 2045, and on and on and on and on and on. Not because we love power, but because we know that for the future of Trinidad and Tobago, for your children and for your grandchildren, it requires the people's national movement, the stable hand, the vision and the fortitude of the PNM. There is no other political party that can match. And when we say building our future together, we are talking about a partnership between the executive and the membership, and between the PNM and the citizenry of Trinidad and Tobago, as we hold your hand, as we work together to make sure that we can address the needs of the party members and the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. My friends, this team, if you pay attention, let me just ask all of you to just stand, wherever you are, members of the Future Leaders team, and just turn to the audience, let them look at your beauty and your radiance. Give them your support. Give them your vote. Elect them into office. I thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And I want you to know that we are at a place in this party where we have to have our eyes open, where we have to look and identify the detractors. There are persons who sat on the shoulder. You know what the shoulder of the road is? That's the part of the road that you use when you have problems with the slow lane and the fast lane. The fast lane is when your motor car working real good and you have fuel and you're feeling strong and nice. You're going down the fast lane. The slow lane is when you want to cruise and relax a little bit, because I'm always driving on the fast lane. And the shoulder is when things wrong with your car. You're high, you're drunk, or you're tired. You just pull up on the shoulder. We have people on the shoulder for the last 10 years. And now want to come off the shoulder and go straight into the fast lane? We say absolutely not. We reject them out of hand. And we will demonstrate that by a lack of votes. No vote for them. None. Salt. As the young people say, vote nothing. Let me hear you say that. Vote nothing. Vote nothing. We vote in future. Leaders. That's slogan. Leaders in service. I want to tell you that I see the democracy in the PNM is alive. I want to thank, on behalf of leaders in service, I want to thank all those party members, some of them very young and ambitious, who would have offered themselves for office. We are not here to attack party members. But what we are here to do is to say to you, make sure and make wise choices. I want to recognize all the way from Toko, Sandy Grande, a stalwart of the PNM, Terry Rondon. When Terry Rondon endorses you in the PNM, you're well endorsed. So when you see Terry here present with us, you know that we're on the right track. We're heading in the right direction. I want to say to Port of Spain, North, you have produced a good son. We accept him and we welcome him, and we are going to use him as best as we can to lead the executive of the People's National Movement. But I want to say to you that votes, elections are about numbers. So this meeting is a very beautiful meeting. I really love this meeting. You see how beautiful you are looking? Give yourself a round of applause. But we don't just want to scrape through. We want, when the votes are cast on the special voting days, and when we add that to the votes on convention day in Shagaramas must tip. Well, it might be future thinking as future leaders. Queen's Park, Savannah, must lean with weight from the ballots that will be cast for the leaders in service team, ladies and gentlemen. Is La Hoqueta Talpara in the house? I dare say, Minister Dolly and Faris, by far the best constituency in Trinidad and Tobago. Is St. Lawrence East in the house? Is San Fernando West in the house? I was hearing a whole San Fernando West team, I'll repeat it there. Is Kajimuse in the house? Is Cuba South in the house? What about San Fernando East? I want to recognize the MP for San Fernando East, General Belmont. Is Diego Martin Central in the house? I know they have one! They have one! Let us recognize and welcome the MP for Diego Martin Central, Simon de la Vega. Is Tunapuna in the house? Where's Tunapuna? Well, the hall is so full. We have 3 times the amount of persons outside than we have inside. Is Tobago in the house? Port of Spain South? They outside, we can't hear them. Throughout Trinidad and Tobago, we have the PNM energized and ready to work. My friends, this is no joking matter. I want you to treat this just as you treat a general election. In my own constituency, we have mobilized teams of persons by polling divisions, and we will be taken to the streets on all the days for polling to bring out to vote for leaders in service the largest number of persons that have exercised their vote in the PNM ever. We are pleased to be here in Port of Spain North, and I thank you for your attention and your patience. But most importantly, as I said to you earlier, your vote is what we require. And let me spend 2 minutes talking to the young people of the PNM. Let me see the young people in the house tonight. I think young people can make much more noise than that. Let me see the young people in the house. Not you, Mr. Roach, the young people. I want to say to the young people of the PNM that in this political party, we are the only, let us welcome the MP for Laventille East Mova. Adrian Leons, an example of how the PNM treats with their young people. Ladies and gentlemen, it is only in the PNM that you can find the most vibrant and energetic youth league that has been in existence since the formation of the PNM. Let us welcome the newly elected chairman of the youth league. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a surprise for you all. Let us stand and welcome Dr. Keith Christopher.
Somebody touch me, somebody touch me, somebody touch my soul. While I was praying, praying to the Jesus, somebody touch my soul.
I'm going to ask you who you're voting for political leader of the PNM, and you will answer and tell me by the surname and the person you plan to vote for, right? I want everybody to participate. I want those in the hall to participate. I want those, the 1,000 persons we have outside the hall to take part as well. And I want all of you who are listening on live and TV and radio to also join in this song. Who are you voting for political leader of the PNM? Who are you voting for political leader of the PNM? Who are you voting for? Who are you voting for? Beautiful. I want to tell you that song you heard playing just now is a very popular song now on the airwaves. In addition to the post of Prime Minister and political leader, he can make a little hustle on the side. But I will have to collect some royalties because he cut that LP in La Hocketa Talpao. So he's a candidate in this election. And you know, one thing the PNM does for candidates is once we have one or two, you know, as the Bible says, when the twos and the threes are gathered, there he will be in the midst. We want to say, we welcome you on behalf of the MP for Port of Spain North. We welcome you to this lovely constituency and this beautiful community center constructed by the People's National Movement, ladies and gentlemen. And because you're a candidate in these elections, we would like to ask you to come and tell the PNM why they should support you as political leader.
Thank you very much, General Secretary, other party officers, all candidates, all Port of Spain North and surrounding constituencies, party members and supporters, it appears as though I should have come here before. You see, a British Prime Minister said, by experience, he would have been able to say that a week is a long time in politics. And given how the polls are here tonight, I was hoping and wishing that the election could be tomorrow. But since the election for party leadership is on December 4th, I trust that you will not change your mind between now and then, because I get the impression that you've made up your mind who you want to vote for. And as an astute politician that I think I am, I want to promise you that between now and election day, I would do nothing to influence the support that appears to reside in this hall tonight. But seriously, let me just thank all of you who are paying attention to the PNM's interim election, those present here tonight, those who are following us outside on the platforms and so on, because the PNM is the premier political party in Trinidad and Tobago. And we, who at this point in time have the responsibility for operating the party's affairs and for guiding the party and the country, the elections in the PNM are serious business. And the most serious part of it is to encourage party members to participate in that process. And I think we've done well so far, and I expect that we'll do better going forward. I also think that a serious part of the business is having invited party members to participate, that so many of you have offered yourself either to remain in office, to change office, or to come into office, all saying, I am willing to serve. And I think that's a good thing for the party and for the country. It says that the PNM is a healthy, democratic organization, and we didn't get here after 60-odd years by not being a serious political party. And I'm happy as political leader to see at this time under my stewardship and my tenure that the party is as vigorous as it is today. And those of us who've been around for a while, and all of you who are wherever you are, especially if you are in the position of leadership, I think the satisfaction that you will get, and those who may have hired you or who work with you, but certainly those who examine your tenure, at the end of the day, what you would want to be recognized as is for how you have changed that organization for the better, and how you would have discharged responsibilities which were afforded you during the time of your service. I have offered myself to serve for another term. I would like to believe that what I heard tonight from you in recognition of my name is an endorsement of the work that we have been doing and the leadership that I've provided you for the last And I am satisfied that when you examine our party between 2010 and now, you may come to the conclusion that we have made progress as an institution. Because you know, there was a time when we selected our leadership, our national executive, by the delegate system. One delegate came from the party group, one delegate came from the constituent, a number of delegates came from the constituency group, and executive members had a vote by virtue of being in certain offices and so on. And that served us quite well for quite some time. But as we evolved as an organization, we wanted to become more democratic. And sometimes when new ideas come forward, persons who have been steeped or committed to the ideas that they've been using take the position that no new idea could succeed because that is the way it has to be done, because that's the way we were doing it before. And as we sought to democratize the party further, we did come across that same resistance or concern. But because this party is very democratic, we put the idea of further democratization into the democratic system of the party. And we took, I think it was a year and a half or 2 years thereabouts, deliberating on a motion from Couva South. And I think tonight we have here Mrs. Jennifer Baptiste Primus, who I think, if my memory serves me right, had read that motion in Shagarama Soda Convention. Was it you? Yes, my memory is still good. And we put the idea to the party that it would be a huge step in increasing our democracy if we can incorporate the logistics so as to allow every party member an original vote to cast by the party member to choose the national executive. One man, one vote. Of course, at the time when it was raised, not everybody would have gasped and said, oh yes, let's do that. There were some arguments, are you sure? Do you think so? And there were those who were enthusiastic. And some people were fearful, saying that it will break up the party, it will mash up the party, and so on and so on. But we said, let's talk about it. Let's consult. And we went throughout the party, consulting with every constituency, inviting every party group. And at the end of the day, we turned up at a convention, a special convention called for the purpose of concluding those discussions and receiving proposals and draft constitutional amendments. And on that day, after that exercise in democracy, the delegates in the PNM voted themselves out of office and voted into office a new arrangement by amending our constitution, allowing not 800 people to choose our executive, but every single party member in the PNM. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that was worthy of note in the history of the party and the country. And we didn't stop there. Before that, the Constitution said that the political leader has certain responsibilities in selecting candidates, which he still has, of course. But there was a screening committee, which we still have. But members of the screening committee, as per the Constitution, were required to assist the political leader in this process. Now, of course, if you are assisting somebody, it's not the same as if you and the person have the same right and the same weight of choice. So we amended the Constitution, where the veto held by the political leader was removed. And the screening committee, every member who finds him or herself on the screening committee by virtue of the office that they would hold in the party based on how you will vote, in selecting our executive, every member of the screening committee has a full independent vote on the screening committee. That was an improvement. And more, at the time when we did this, the political leader of the PNM, once elected, would serve a term for 5 years. It was put by me to the party, through that consultative process, that the term of service of the political leader, any person elected to that post, should serve 4 years as against 5 years. Ladies and gentlemen, these were 3 major steps in widening, deepening, and strengthening the democracy in the PNM. And what we are doing here tonight is simply following our Constitution as amended and accepted in a process that is now normal and accepted and acceptable in the PNM. Others have followed, and others will follow. But we, the PNM, we are always the leader in party politics. Any election, anywhere, requires management of a process. We, by our experience and our commitment to having free and fair elections with integrity, makes it easy for us to have our commitment accepted by our membership after our discussions at the level of Central Executive and General Council, that we can manage the logistics of having further changes. We've always had a situation where, national elections, that you can vote days before the election. Special voting is not due to Trinidad and Tobago. And we said that we shouldn't leave, having made a change, taking the choice of the national executive out of the hands of 800 delegates and put it in every party member's hand. We say, let's go further. Let's encourage those party members to participate in the process. And the General Council, after considerable deliberation, came to the conclusion that we could do that by virtually carrying the convention, carrying the electoral process to members. Because otherwise, only those who would have attended the convention would have been able to participate in the process. So if you live in Basta and Moruga, or you live in Charlottesville, or you live in Cedros, or you live in Carpichaima, or you live in Belmont, and you chose not to go to the convention for whatever reason, you automatically could not vote because voting took place at the convention venue on that day. We said if we want to carry the process further to members, let the process, one, be on a day other than the convention day, and two, let members, especially those in geographical areas away or those who may not want to come and get involved in the hurly-burly of a convention, let them cast their ballot, and we agreed to do that. And I think that's a wonderful thing. So in this election, for the first time, we'll have early voting. I have seen it said that early voting is meant to rig the election in favor of whoever is advocating that. And of course, it's an indication of dishonesty in the process. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't usually raise external activities as the yardstick by which we should measure ourselves. But there's an election in the United States 7 days from today, 6 days from today. People have been voting in some parts for the last 2 weeks. For the last 2 weeks in some parts of the United States, people have been voting. And as this morning, I think I heard it this morning, that in the election of 6 days from now in the United States, 32 million people have already voted. So, is it that they can do something that we are telling ourselves that we can't do? Or is it that we believe in ourselves and we believe in the general integrity of the people and the good sense of the people of Trinidad and Tobago that we can do that without a hitch? I have every confidence. I have every confidence that the same way we made the change to one man, one vote, accepted the 4-year term of the political leader, accepted the removal of a veto from the political leader at screening, that we will distinguish ourselves on the 4th of December when we count all the ballots that were cast in the weekend before and on the day of the convention. Ladies and gentlemen, I have an abiding faith in the people of Trinidad and Tobago that buoys me up. I have faith in this country. I have faith in the people of this country. We've come a long, 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 long way. And I have not seen the end of our journey. What I see is a continuous development process in person, in party, in government and in country. And that is the country that we love, Trinidad and Tobago. Give up confidence. Give up confidence. Some of you, not you, are familiar with the Bible. As a passing granddaughter, knows nothing but the Bible. You're familiar with Lot and his wife being told to leave a city that was destined to be destroyed. Lot had to convince her to go, and she left with Lot. But they were admonished, don't look back. Look ahead. Forge ahead. Do not look back. She didn't have the confidence to forge ahead. Lot's wife looked back and turned into a pillar of salt. In this rainy season, any pillar of salt like that will be washed away on the 4th of December. I want to thank you all very much for the support that you've given me. Those of you from Diego Martin West. Anybody from Diego Martin here? Diego Martin. I want to thank the people of Diego Martin West in particular for the sterling support that they have given me from the day I have offered myself. When my career would have ended, I would be able to say that there's no constituency, maybe one or two, who have supported its member of parliament through thick and thin, like Diego Martin West, who lived in support of Clifton. And since the leadership of the party fell to me in 2010, I have had nothing but solid support from you, the party membership, and I want to thank you for that. As I said on the night when we won the last general election, that I could, and I maybe shouldn't, but I stayed. One of the things why I stayed on to contest that election in 2020 is that I had encouraged a number of young people, some who gave up their careers, to come into the political arena and to offer themselves for public service in the political sphere. And many did so. And I wanted to make sure that in this period of transition, that they got the benefit of exposure and experience for the benefit of all the people of Trinidad and Tobago. As I look at this gathering tonight, and I look outside in the yard, it reminds me of a call I made in Tobago in an election of an earlier time, when I said to young people, come forward and take responsibility for your country. Tonight I make that call to the PNM. Those of you who offered yourself, alongside a good complement of older people, come forward. Come forward. Okay. Alongside a component of experience. There's a joke about that. Sorry. If you talk to me another time, I'll give you a joke about using experience as a yardstick. Anyway, young people, come forward and take responsibility for this party and this country. I want to thank all of you who have offered yourself. It's not always going to be easy, but every once in a while, you will get a card from somebody saying thank you. Every once in a while, you'll run into somebody who will tell you how the policy that the government has followed or put forward has changed their lives. And even when you know that they should say that and they're not saying it, you know that the PNM has changed your lives. So it's an assignment that we all should acknowledge. Public service is honorable. When you offer to serve in a political party, it's hard work, because office by itself is useless. There's work to be done. And if you have offered to serve, then you're offering to work. On behalf of all the party members, I want to say thank you to all of you for the support you've given us as an executive, outgoing as we are. But more so, thank you for agreeing to do the work ahead, 2022 and beyond. Thank you very much.
Now that is the true leader in service. And we want to pause for some entertainment before we introduce all the candidates. We want to pause for some entertainment and bring on the soca artists. Ding dong.
The all kind of crowd, but you see this one here? This is the best I ever see. PNM people! I love the turnout. Give us some volume, DJ. Yeah. My friend. How do you get? Charge it, but charge it. My friend. How do you get? Charge it, but charge it. Hey, diggers! No matter what they could come between me and friend. I would claim them bad when touch my friend. He's one link, one other, and that with the fed. We went on to the end. Here the people falling a whole lot away. And we rise the gallery. It's a whole can away. All who supported, don't say get the ball. Start to get stick and show them the group they can say. Jump on up, start to get stick and show them the group they can say. I want all the youths to come up and give me that support, because going forward, the youth of today are the man of tomorrow. Youth, all the youth, all the young. Play the next one. Press play. Set mash up. No starting and I must catch up. From the time I touch, 1 girl, 10 girl, not enough. PNM is the party. We ain't play but we love it when it's free. Good food and drinks in a cooler. Put the party on my show. PNM is the outside. From long time. No fight, yeah, alright, PNS we outside from long time, yeah, no fight, yeah, alright, watch me good, we don't have a good. These guys when they get them bubbling, we don't have a good. Somebody say yeah. Right. What we doing now? Party done? One more? Put your hand in there! Jump!
candidates to stay on stage, please.
I'll ask all the candidates to stay on stage. Leaders in service. For chairman, Stuart Young.
For vice chairman, Dr. Nyan Gaspidoli.
In absence, Lady Vice Chair Camille Robinson.
General Secretary, none other, Foster Commit.
Assistant General Secretary Patricia Alexis.
Treasurer, Kazem Hussein.
Education Officer Lauren Zacharise.
Public Relations Officer, Hollis Rowley.
Labor Officer Jennifer Batiste Primer.
Elections Officer, Enda Parasan.
Field Officer Terence Bipan.
Welfare Officer, Maxine Richard.
Youth Officer Denise Scott.
Social Media Officer, Quentin Robertson.
Operations Officer Irene Hyde. And for political leader, Dr. the Honorable Keith. We invite you to join Team Leaders in Service Sunday, 6 p.m. Jiggle Martin South Community Center. Ladies and gentlemen, you have been 6 p.m. Yeah. You have been such a wonderful audience. Make some noise for PNF.